Assalamualaikum everyone, my name is Iman.
And I'm Amal.
And today we are talking about Kon-Mariing your relationships.
And for those of you who don't know what Kon-Mari is, it's a method created by Marie Kondo.
Correct.
A lovely Japanese woman.
She's super cute.
She... what'd she do?
Okay, but basically Marie Kondo preaches to only keep things that spark joy in your life.
That's right.
So in doing so, you declutter your life of the things that don't bring you joy. So she has a really good show on Netflix if you like to watch that. I can't remember what it's called. Sparking Joy? Anyway, it's on Netflix. It's a really good show. I watch all episodes in like 2 days. And it's basically picking up something and asking yourself, do I love this? And if it's no, you get rid of it. And I have done that quite a bit over, I want to say like last year.
Right. You got rid of all your clothes and now you borrow all of my clothes.
I can't help it. You've suddenly become very stylish.
Right. Okay, moving on.
Moving on. So I think taking things to the next level in terms of decluttering, not only physical things, it's also emotional things.
Right.
And also people.
Mm-hmm. I think the people thing, we all sort of, like, we took that method and we said, let's bring it, let's apply this to people. I don't think Marie Kondo has
No. Yeah, Marie Kondo. No, but you know who does that though? The minimalists. If you guys have followed me for quite a bit, I do talk about them. And they have a really great podcast called The Minimalists. And they talk about keeping relationships that only matter to you. Okay. So if this topic is something that interests you, I suggest checking out another podcast called The Minimalists. I rate it 10 out of 10. Anyway, our topic today is Kon-Mariing our relationships, or your relationships, or the relationships that you have in your life. And how do you get to that point where you feel like, I don't need you, you don't spark joy, I'm cutting you out of my life? So that's our topic for today. Super long intro, but that's what we want to do today.
Right.
Okay, Amal, so I'm going to ask you, have you ever cut anyone out of your life?
Right off the top of my head, no. I mean, there are people who don't really who I don't really talk to anymore, but that's not because we cut each other off. It's just like distance, or, just sort of melted away. But even then, not that many. I'm going to ask you now, have you Kon-Mari anyone out of your life?
I think as I've grown older, I'm 29. Oh my God, I'm 29.
Yeah.
I'll be 30 very, very soon. I think as I've grown older, I can literally count my friends with 2 hands. It's not many people. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because I just don't have time. Not say I don't have time, but having friends is very draining sometimes.
Right.
And I feel like I only want to put my energy towards people that are uplifting, that vibe well with me, that I don't feel like I have to pretend to be someone different.
Right.
And I mean, throughout my last couple of years, I've met lots of people. Mm-hmm. I've made new friendships, connections, relationships, acquaintances. And at the end of the day, I probably have 10 people I can truly, truly depend on. Mm-hmm. And have I cut those people out? Not really, mm-hmm. But our connections have just melted away for, some reason or other. Yeah. But I do know that there are a few that I have said to myself, this person maybe is a bit too toxic, mm-hmm. or maybe I don't connect with what their values are. Right. So I've made a conscious decision to maybe not get in touch with that person so much, mm-hmm. or not like their Instagram photos as much, so that they understand that I don't really want a friendship with them. Right. And I don't know if that comes across as mean.
Well, I never like people's Instagram pictures anyway. So, I personally don't think that really matters. Mm-hmm. If somebody doesn't like my photo, I'm not going to be like, oh, are they mad at me? That does not cross my mind. Mm-hmm. But I don't know about other people. Well, let's go back to the word you used. You said toxic. I'm on Twitter a lot. And, I see that.
A lot. You're on Twitter a lot.
Because people are funny. People retweet funny things. It's my source of information.
Mr. Sandman.
Yeah. Yeah, that Mr. Sandman video is my favorite. Anyway, so I always see these kinds of tweets where people say oh, cut out that toxic person from your life, you don't need them. Oh, it's basically, it's just that paraphrased over and over, cut out the toxic people from your life. Like, what would you define as a toxic person? Because like I feel like at the rate that people are going, it's like they just want to cut out everybody from their life,
just like how I got rid of all my clothes.
Yeah, you know. And then you're just like, who are you left with if you think that every little thing that somebody says is quote unquote toxic? So like, what would you define as toxic to you?
Again, toxic is such a strong word. I think Britney Spears really said it really well in her song. Okay, toxic is someone who just drags you down. That's how I feel when I think of someone who's toxic. Someone who makes you feel, I don't know if worthless is the right word, but someone who just doesn't make you feel good. Like, why would you want to hang out with someone who doesn't make you feel good?
Right.
Someone who's always saying like negative things, or always pushing you to hang out or do things that make you don't feel good.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I view a toxic person as.
Understood.
Or somebody who makes, for me, it's somebody who makes me feel lesser about myself. Like, you know, I'm like feeling confident and whatever, and then you hang out with this person's like, why you wear baju like that? Or really, you know, I'm like so much better than you, blah 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 blah. I don't like hanging out with people like that.
Right. Of course
because
not.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Why
have
would
people
you
actually like outright said things like that to you?
Yeah.
I feel like for me, if I ever hung out with somebody like that, it'd be more subtle. Like, there was this one classmate that I had, and they always tried to one up my problems. Like, we were all doing our projects, and they would ask me like, oh, what how's it going? Like, what are the problems you're encountering now? And I'd be like, oh yeah, there's this and this and this. And they would be like, oh, lucky you, at least that's your problem. I still have to do blah 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 blah. And like every single time, and I'm just like, this is not a problem competition. You literally asked me what was going on, so I'm just telling you, like, why are you trying to one up me? So it just ended in me just like not wanting to talk to this person at all. So would you consider that as like toxic? But I don't think that's toxic. It's just more of like, okay, I'm so malas to layan you right now. I know you just want to talk about things that I have no interest in, so I'm just like not going to initiate anything with you anymore. So that's the extent of my not even toxic, just like not wanting to have this person in my life anymore.
I you know what, people like that, because I know some people like that, and I know all of us know someone like that.
And I think to a certain extent sometimes we are
also like, correct. But I think that it's really with the intention. If you want, sometimes it's just natural that you're just sharing and like all these other things come out. But I do know there are some people that ask you, not really to ask you, but so you can open the avenue so that they can share what they're feeling. Right. So for example, like there are some people that say, oh, how are you? And you're like, oh my gosh, you know, my cat just died. And like, oh my god, your cat just died? My horse just died? My house blew up in a fire yesterday, and like I had, you know, there was nothing in my like, do you know what I mean? People that just blow things out of proportion.
One up you.
Yeah.
You know?
And for me, at this age of almost 30, I have no time for that.
Yeah.
And
it's like, if you want to talk to me about your house that blew up, just come to me and say, hey, my house blew up, I'm really upset, can I tell you about it? You know, just don't put that other person down. You know, it's kind of like the whole, like, everybody's doing homework, and one person is like, oh my god, my homework is really hard, and they're like, your homework is hard, I gotta do this, and you're just like, okay, I'm so sorry that my life is not as hard as yours. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And it's just...
Yeah, for me, I understand that Twitter is like this whole different universe that I don't understand, really. It's so interesting, but I don't know, maybe it's just for the young ones. But I feel like when you say cut someone out of your life, or no, the harsh thing that I really don't like is when someone says you're cancelled.
Oh, yeah.
Because like, canceling someone, I know, I just feel like it's a really harsh word. I stand by my statement that not everyone is supposed to be friends with everyone.
Right.
We're just not built that way, and it's okay for you not to be friends with everyone.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes you just don't have chemistry with people. Like, even like the nicest people, like, two really nice people, you can put them in a room and they literally won't have anything to say to each other.
Yeah.
Because they just don't have any chemistry.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That happens all the time.
Yeah. And they just don't have, maybe they don't like similar things or whatever.
There've literally been people that I really like I know that they're nice people and they are nice to me, but then like I avoid being in the same room with them alone at all costs because it's just so awkward.
Yeah.
You know? And it's nobody's fault. There's just literally no chemistry whatsoever. No biology, no physics. Like, it's nothing. There's nothing there. Yeah. So
there's this one person that I know, when I hear that I have to go in the car with this person, I literally go, oh no, like this is like my worst nightmare, because I know it's just going to be me, because like sometimes I equate myself to like a yapping dog, like oh look at that, like, you know, I'm very much a yappy dog. So when I'm in the car with this person, I'm yappy dog times 10. It's like, oh wow, look at the wind, oh, do you see the color of that car, like, you know, so I'm like extra like that.
To compensate. Yeah,
to compensate, because the other person is just like... Right. Anyway, getting back to cutting out people. Sorry. This is something I wanted to say from the beginning. Is do it subtly. Yeah. If you feel like that relationship is no longer treasured to you or brings you joy. Mm-hmm. I have cut out people in my life because of maybe situations that we've been put in or disagreements that we've had. It's just part of life. You know, people fight, and if you're good enough friends, you will become friends again. But if not, then it's okay. We all move on. And there have been people that after not seeing them for a while, I think the biggest thing for me is like cutting out people is like unfollowing people on Instagram.
Yeah, it's a very.
I think that's a very. It's a very
thing.
21st century thing.
Okay, going back to you saying do it subtly, thinking back to our previous episode where we did it on friendship breakups. Mm-hmm. There were times where we were just. I mean, for me, I can't remember if you had any that like people just stopped talking to you. Mm-mm. So how is that different from you saying you should just cut out people subtly? Like you're kind of in a way that's like you leaving them hanging as well, like how people have done to us in the past.
Yeah, I think if it's a friendship that like I want to reconnect, or like, you know, even after a fight I still go back and say like, hey, let's be friends, whatever, then that, okay, I'm gonna use an example. Okay, so at work, at the place that I used to work at before, you know, I had tons of friends, really good friends. We go to lunch with each other all the time, blah, 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 blah. After I no longer work there, I know that there are still some people who I can just like text randomly, say like, hey, how are you? Let's go out for coffee. Mm-hmm. And we will be totally fine. And there's no like tension or awkwardness or whatever. There are, on the other hand, some people that I intentionally stay out of their way, right? Because I don't want to have and not have anything else to do with them. That's not what I mean, but just I feel like it's better that we live our separate lives, right? You know, this is no nothing to anyone. This is just me speaking generally. Right. There are some people that even though I haven't spoken to for a while, I feel so comfortable like just messaging them on like Instagram and saying like, hey, like, oh, your baby's so cute, or how's it going, or, you know, congrats on your business, whatever. Like there are those people that I'm okay with doing that. That's what I mean by being quiet but still like you have that connection with them. Mm-hmm. As opposed to there are some other people who I don't follow on Instagram anymore, who I like don't like their pictures, I like don't text them. That's just because I feel like it's better that we stay out of each other's lives. Right. So that's how I make my two comparisons. Okay. So to say that I cut them out, yeah, I guess it is a form of cutting them out, because we just don't have, there's no more like Venn diagram of overlapping in our lives anymore. Right. That's what I mean.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And to be honest, when I am the type of friend, I don't like texting 24/7. Right. There are some people who are like, I have to update my friend what I ate or what I'm doing after this or like how I'm feeling, which is totally fair. Yeah. I'm just not that person.
Yeah, because you have other things going on in your life.
Sure. No, and even before that, even before baby bow, like,
or just anything. Okay.
Or just anything. Like I'm not someone to constantly update everyone on my life. Yeah. And there are some people who are. And there are some people who also expect that from you. I have
one friend who I do that with. Just one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her name is DOPStv. And, you know, that's fair and fine if that's how you want to friend.
Yeah.
But I don't think everyone can friend that way.
I feel like it's very important for you to know your friend's texting style or whatever, you know, because this one friend, like, we could just like have a conversation and then it's done, and then like an hour later we'll just pick it back up. Like, that's my relationship with her. And then other friends I know just are the worst at texting. I would text them and they'd be super cold, but I know they're not actually cold. It's just like a matter of fact. I'm like, are you meeting here? Okay. Yes. 9 p.m. Okay. Yeah. Like, I have those kinds of friends, and it's really important to tie back into our actual topic.
Yeah.
Is that for me in the beginning, I'm like, oh my God, I hate texting this friend because they make me feel like they don't like me, but it's just how they text. So it's important to know that that's just their texting style, because we have this, not problem, but we have this now. We have an extra avenue. Like, now we text. Like, people 50 years ago did not have this problem. Like, now we have to be like, that's why we have emojis, so that, so that people know that we're not being like cold or unfriendly. It's just,
if you send me an emoji, I would think that you're upset with me. Like, if I sent you an emoji, if anyone just sent me an emoji, if I said, hey, da da da, and all they did was like this or this, I'm like,
yeah,
are you like upset with me or something?
I feel like I would only send that if I was upset.
Yeah, because that's what I would do. If I was upset, I would do this.
Yeah, so then again, so it's important to know what kind of texters your friends are, so that you don't get the wrong message. You're not misunderstood. You don't misunderstand them.
I have a question for you. If you had, okay, just say, I know you don't have any toxic people or people that you quote unquote want to get rid of, but what if you did? Right. If there was this one person who really, like, oh my God, sucked to the core. I don't know if there's any type of person like that, but someone who you just really feel like, oh, this person's such a drain on my life. Would you actually get rid of them? Or would you just, like, you know, for the sake of not being awkward and me for having to like leave our friendship, I'm just going to like put up with you?
That's a bit complicated, because it definitely depends on your circumstances and your situation. Like, if you were working in an office and literally the person who sits in the cubicle in front of you is a toxic person you want to cut out, that's literally impossible, because they're right in front of you every single day. Right? So it definitely depends on the circumstance. So I don't know. I really don't know how I would even go about that. I'd probably just go home every day really, really sad that I have to see this person again tomorrow. I don't know. How about you? How would you deal with that?
Again, because I'm older, I don't have time to... Okay, I'm going to use your colleague reference, right? I have had people
that you
in work situations where I'm just like, oh my God, like, stab my eye with this pen. I don't want to hang out with this person, you know?
Right.
But I think that's the beauty of a workplace, is that sometimes you're really into like your job, and that there are other people around you that you can somehow mask your defiance towards this person.
Right. There
have been times, I can think of maybe a few situations that I've had where, oh my gosh, this person just really like I just like, and I actually said, like, in the middle of all of us doing work, like chatting, I'm like, I can't. I'm so sorry, but
stop bothering me.
I can't. Can you stop bothering me? And I think that person's taken aback. Maybe because I said it so harshly, and again, I apologize, and we've apologized, and we like put it behind us. But just in that moment, I just could not handle it.
Right.
And in hindsight, I wish I had handled it better. But
as
sometimes,
all the other
things I've done in my life. But sometimes, you know, when you're just in the heat of the moment, there's
I understand. You
nowhere
kind of
you can really go. It was either tell this person to keep quiet or literally roll down and like faint.
Right.
So yeah, I would cut people out subtly if they no longer brought joy to my life.
And okay. And also, if they're literally not in your life, you have no reason to see them anyway. Fair
exactly
enough.
I mean, why would you want to text someone
that doesn't bring you
who
joy?
You haven't seen in a million years, who doesn't bring you joy? Be like, hey, let's go out for coffee.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that.
I don't think anyone
I don't
would.
even do that with people I like.
Yeah, there you go.
I do see the people I like. Yeah, no, I think it definitely, for me personally, it depends on my mood. Sometimes I just need time. You know, there are friends that I've had that like, they complain so much that just sometimes I'm just like, oh my
Sometimes
gosh,
it's me. Sorry, Amal.
I don't really have the energy for you right now. But then like later I see them again and they're like not complaining, and then I just remember that, oh yeah, you know what, this is a really good friend. Like they were just having their moments and things like that. So.
Sorry, last minute, I know we're wrapping up, but I just had a really quick thought. There was a friend who I had been with for quite a while. We were good friends. Mm-hmm. And something happened, and I made it very obvious to her that I wanted her out of my life.
Right.
So I made it very clear through like my bodily expressions? Body language. Through my body language and like how I spoke to her, that I think it was quite obvious to her that I didn't want her around me anymore. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess I cut her out of my life.
Right.
Didn't text her anymore, didn't like her Instagram photos, unfollowed her, blah, 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 blah. But after time, again, I grew up. She grew up as well. And I just felt like hearing about her from some of our mutual friends, I was like, you know, she sounds like she's in a really good place. I'm in a really good place now. Like, maybe we should... not maybe you should. I would like to reconnect. Right. If she wants to or not, that's totally up to her. Mm-hmm. And I have no judgment to her if she doesn't want to be friends with me anymore, because like how I cut her out of my life was like really harsh. Mm-hmm. So I just reached out to her.
Harsh? Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay.
So I reached out to her, and alhamdulillah, she was very kind and very gracious, and she accepted my apology. I apologized like a million times. I was sure she was like really tired of it, but I apologized, and alhamdulillah, now like we're friends again, and, and we're like in a chat group with all our other mutual friends, and we hang out. And
yeah, so it's also important to remember that time is really important in healing or whatever it is, and you can totally reconnect with people that you've decided you want it to cut out of your life, because time does do wonders.
Heal wounds.
Yeah, so you can always reconnect, cut out people that you need to cut out, but also really think about it. And yeah,
so thank you so much for watching this episode. If there are any questions or stories that you'd like to share with us, please feel free to comment below.
And thanks for listening.
We'll see you next week.
Time.